Hello and welcome to this challenge for the Using Layers chapter. In this challenge, you're going to take this pile of photos that's just kind of thrown together over here on the left and bring them into the mood board or vision board or inspiration board that we're creating here on the right. A mood board is something that creatives sometimes use when they're trying to organize resources and pieces of inspiration for a project. And this will be a really good chance to exercise the skills you learned in this chapter for working with layers. I'd like you to think about the techniques that we learned in this chapter, like rearranging layers in the layers panel, working with the visibility of layers to see what you have, changing the size of layers, transforming layers in other ways like rotating or flipping, and maybe even creating additional layers if you need them. So have fun. And I'll be back in the next movie to show you how I solved this challenge. Welcome back from this challenge. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really had a good time taking that pile of photos that was just dumped over on the left and arranging them into something I think is pleasing, I hope is pleasing, over on the right, a mood board or an inspiration board. It's really a collage of photos. I tried to use techniques that we learned in the chapter on using layers in this course. Obviously, I had to move everything, so I had to select the right layers, and I had to think about whether I was going to use auto-select or select layers manually. And before I did anything, I went through the layers panel, turning the eye icons on and off, so I could see behind photos that were obscuring other ones, so I knew what I had. I noticed that all the photos had already been set to be smart objects, so I knew they would be protected if I transformed them. And I did transform them using the free transform command. I rotated some of them, moving my cursor outside the corners and dragging. Of course, I resized most of them, again using free transform. And I basically just practiced using layers, and I hope that's what you did too. You know that I think the best way to learn is to practice on your own, so I hope this gave you a chance to do that. One more thing, I'm not a designer by trade, I'm a photographer. I found that I could use the same skills that I know as a photographer to put these elements of the collage together in what I think is a way that works pretty well. For example, I thought about how the user's eye might move around and how the images could be used to move the viewer's eye around the collage in a way that I wanted it to. I also thought about qualities that I use in photography, like color and tone and contrast. And that helped me to position the various items in the collage. And one other thing I noticed is that one of these items was on a transparent background, that gray chair. And so that gave me an opportunity to think about where to place that for the most impact, because it's different than all the other photographs here, which are presented in a traditional rectangular or square frame. So it was really interesting to bring what I know about photography into this space. And I hope that whatever creative field you're in, you were able to have that same experience.